भक्ति देवी की जय, ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल. All glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gaurvani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo
Devaya.
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet Nashtaprayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 3, Text 2. Sandipane Sakrit Proktam Brahmadhitya Savistaram Tasmai Pradad Varam Putram Mritam Pancha Janodarat. Sandipane Sakrit Proktam Brahmadhitya Savistaram Tasmai Pradad Varam Putram Mritam Pancha Janodarat. Sandipane Sakrit Proktam Brahmaditya Savistaram Tasmai Pradad Varam Putram Mritam Pancha Janodarat. Please chant.
Sandipane Sakrit Proktam Brahmaditya Savishtaram Tasmai Pradadvaram Putram Mritam Pancha Janodarat.
Sandipane Sakrit Proktam Brahmaditya Savistaram Tasmai Prasadvaram Putram Mritam Pancha Janodarat. Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Sandipane Sakrat Praktam Brahmaditya Savistaram Tasmai Pradat Varam Putram Mritam Pancho Janodarat. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Sandipane Sakrit Proktam Brahmaditya Savistaram Tasmai Pradadavaram Putram Bhitam Panchajanodarat.
Okay, anyone else? Word to word translation. Sandipanehe of Sandipani Muni. Sakrit once only. Proktam instructed. Brahma all the Vedas with their different branches of knowledge. Adhitya after studying. Savistaram in all details. Tasmai unto him. Pradat rewarded. Varam a benediction. Putram his son. Mritam who was already dead. Panchajana the region of the departed souls. Udarat from within. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. The Lord learned all the Vedas with their different branches simply by hearing them once from his teacher Sandipani Muni. whom he rewarded by bringing back his dead son from the region of Yamaloka. Purport. No one but the Supreme Lord can become well versed in all the branches of Vedic wisdom simply by hearing once from his teacher. Nor can anyone bring a dead body back to life after the soul has already gone to the region of Yamaraj. But Lord Krishna ventured to the planet of Yamaloka and found the dead son of his teacher and brought him back to his father. Whose father? The boy's father. Brought the dead son back to his father as a reward for the instructions received. The Lord is constitutionally well versed in all the Vedas, and yet to teach by example that everyone must go to learn the Vedas from an authorized teacher and must satisfy the teacher by service and reward, he himself adopted this system. The Lord offered his services to his teacher Sandipani Muni, and the Muni, knowing the power of the Lord, asked something which was impossible to be done by anyone else. The teacher asked that his beloved son, who had died, be brought back to him, and the Lord fulfilled the request. The Lord is not, therefore, an ingrate to anyone who renders him some sort of service. The devotees of the Lord who always engage in his loving service are never to be disappointed in the progressive march of devotional service. Such a wonderful purport. Actually, I was thinking that I will read from the 10th canto about this pastime. But each line of the purport is so wonderful, I'm having second thoughts now about what to speak. May Krishna give me the proper intelligence. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, my dear devotees. Welcome to today's Srimad Bhagavatam class at ISKCON Philadelphia. Thank you so much for joining this morning. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 3. So this is the Lord's pastimes out of Vrindavan. This is the conversation between Uddhava and Vidura. And Uddhava was asked some questions by Vidura about Lord Krishna, about the well-being of the members of the Yadu dynasty and also about the Pandavas. And Uddhava is talking about the wonderful pastime. While remembering Krishna, he was already in total meditation of Krishna. It was difficult for him to even speak. For several minutes, he couldn't even speak anything. But finally, he was inspired by Lord Krishna to go to Vidura and, speak to him. So Uddhava, while remembering Krishna, in the previous chapter we saw uh, Uddhava remembered just one line statements about Krishna's pastimes in Braja. So now in this chapter we are seeing Krishna's pastimes outside of Braja. So in yesterday's verse 1, we saw how Kamsa was killed by Krishna, and also he dragged the body of Kamsa to assure uh, the those devotees who were in Vatsalya Prema to him, to convince them, because they are concerned that he's a small child, how, you know, just because Krishna simply just like, one blow and Kamsa is dead. It's not like they had a war or anything. So they were not sure, knowing Kamsa's position. So he just dragged the dead body of Kamsa all around to assure all the members he's dead, like that. Many things happened after that, before coming to this particular uh, verse where Krishna is, he studied under Sandipani Muni. So anyway, I'll just try to tell in essence what happened. This is from the 45th verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. 45th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, and also in Krishna book also you'll find it, the same. What happened was, first of all, after killing Kamsa, Lord Krishna...
Is this 10th canto, Mataji?
10th canto. All these are 10th canto pastimes, Krishna's pastimes. So first of all, Krishna and Balaram, they went to Vasudeva and Devaki, and by spreading their Yogamaya influence, right, on Vasudeva, because they had this reverential awe and respect that when Krishna was born to Vasudeva and Devaki, they saw him in four-handed form. They were aware that he is the Supreme Lord. So Krishna spread his Yogamaya so that now they will treat Krishna Balaram simply, and also they just saw he killed Kamsa. So they will treat him just like their children, right? So then, with that fatherly and motherly affection, they picked up Krishna on their laps, right? So before that, actually, they spoke. How sweetly Krishna speaks. My dear father and mother, although you have always been anxious for the protection of our lives, you could not enjoy the pleasure of having us as your babies, as your growing boys, as your adolescent youths, right? You underwent all the trouble to give birth to us, but you never got, because what's the pleasure, right? After you give birth, then you relish the sweetness of the baby with that reciprocation as the child is growing up, but you could not get that happiness. So indirectly, Krishna praised Nanda Maharaj, that Nanda Maharaj could get all that. So anyway, after this, what happened was they completely endeared themselves to Vasudeva and Devaki, because they may still have this pain that, oh, we didn't have our children, they were taken away from us, or they were not with us, right? So to fill that gap, Krishna and Balaram spoke so sweetly, saying that, we are so sorry, we were in a helpless condition, we could not do anything for you. So they, all that awe and reverence just fell away, and they just saw Krishna Balaram like that. Immediately they picked up, Devaki Mai picked up Krishna on her lap, right? And Vasudevji picked up Balaram on his lap, and after some time, with tears, they were bathing Krishna Balaram. And then they exchanged, again Balaramji in the lap of Devaki Mai and Krishna in the lap of Vasudev, like that. After this, the next thing was, they took care of other things. Ugrasen Maharaj, the father of Kamsa, was also arrested, and Krishna personally went and released Ugrasen Maharaj from imprisonment. And it is said Ugrasen Maharaj was so old There were so many qualified people who could have become the king of the Yadavas. Still, Krishna made him the king. He gave that position to Ugrasen Maharaj, and also how he would be very obedient in front of him, right? Like a servant. So he would go, and every day he would offer his obeisances. Like when Ugrasen Maharaj is sitting on the throne, like a servant, he would say, I'm at your command, and take his permission to take seat like that. Also, he called for all the, if you remember, after imprisoning Vasudeva and Devaki, Kamsa started his atrocious activities on all the Yadavas, the Vrishnis, and because he heard from Narad Muni that the demigods had taken birth in the families of the Yadu dynasty and the other related dynasties. So he was harassing them. So out of fear of Kamsa, they had all left. Not all, most of them had left to take shelter in neighboring countries like Kekaya, Koshala, and uh, Panchala, Hastinapur, like that. They would go and take shelter in other kingdoms out of fear of Kamsa. So now Krishna called for all of them back, because it is not pleasing, to go and stay somewhere else, isn't it? They're all kings, kshatriyas. So he called all of them back. After this, now Vasudeva and Devaki's concern is they're almost, 12 years old, and until now they didn't even have any education, they didn't even go to school. Our children, all they did was just cow herding. That's all they did. This is not good. They should get their, second initiation, samskara, Upanayan samskara, and they should be studying. So they had, their Upanayana samskara performed. Vasudeva had Krishna Balram's Upanayan samskara performed by Gargacharya, who was the family priest of the Yadus. And also at that time, he gave a lot of cows in charity. And at the same time, Vasudevji gave those 10,000 cows which he had given in charity mentally at the birth of Krishna. Because he was imprisoned in the prison house at that time, he could not have given in charity at that time. So, but in mind he had given it. He had given in his mind. But the same cows now he gave away. Actually, physically he gave. Plus he gave, on this occasion also of their Upanayan ceremony. So the next thing was education. This is the main thing. So what is today's verse? Today's verse is Sandipane Sakrit Proktam Brahma Ditya Savistaram. Sandipane Sakrit Proktam. So they were first sent to Sandipani Muni, who is from Avanti, or his ashram is in Avanti or Ujjain. Originally Sandipani Muni is from Kashi, but now he settled in Avanti. He opened his Gurukula in Ujjain, Avanti. So Krishna Balram was sent to Sandipani Muni's ashram to take education. So in this context, Srila His Holiness Radha Govind Maharaj explains that for education it is essential to go out of home, go to the Guru's ashram. That's where you should take education. Staying at home, education will not happen. So that's actually it is true also, because of course you'll have questions about homeschooling and all that we do now. We do that because we don't have a better alternative. If we had this, that would be the best system. This is the Vedic system, having a Gurukul, and Gurukul also how the Gurukul should be run, right? Who's running the Gurukul? It is not run by, sannyasis, isn't it? Gurukul, there is a teacher and there is Guru Patni, Guru Mata also. And it's a family, Grihastha couple, the teacher and his wife. So she plays the role of the mother for the young boys that go. And Gurukul, the father, the Guru is the teacher. So that is a conducive atmosphere for learning. Because at home, you're not able to, I'm talking about children especially, raising them and teaching them, educating them at the same time. Because, you're the mother, right? Of course, it's not that there's no teaching that the mother does. That is there also. Mother also teaches. She's the first mother, right? First mother teaches, then the father, and then guru, like that. Certainly, that is there. But we are talking here about Vedic education, actual formal training and education. That happens under the guidance of a guru. And that strict discipline is required. Without discipline, we cannot get education. And that discipline is lacking when you are living at home and also trying to study. Because, yeah, I mean, there's no need to explain that. But yeah, it is true. But is the current education system the solution? Or because children should not be, they should go to guru, so you just send them. What are the values that are being taught by the gurus there? What is it that they're teaching, right? And what is the character of the teacher who is teaching? All these things matter also. And also, what about the co-education, the free mixing of the girls and boys? Where is the protection of the chastity of the girls? Where is the celibacy for the boys? Celibacy is the first principle for education. Gurukul means brahmacharya.
Yeah.
And brahmacharya is not just refraining from mixing with the opposite sex. Brahma means what? Just now in this verse also we see. Brahma means the absolute truth. So Vedas are also the absolute truth. Vedas are also the absolute truth. Brahma means the absolute truth. Vadanti tat tattvavidas tattvam yajnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavaniti shabdate. That absolute truth is known as Brahma, Paramatma and Bhagavan. So to get that Brahma Jnanam, it is essential to go to Gurukul. And for that education also, first you have to have your Upanayana Samskaram. Unless you're a Dvija, you will not have the proper qualification to actually even study, to utter the mantras properly. Vedas are in the form of mantras. So there are 5 Vedas. Actually, we say 4 Vedas. There are 5 Vedas. Originally, there was only 1 Veda, but Vyasdev. Vyasa means what? Vyas means to divide. So Vyasdev divided the 1 Veda into 5. So originally there was only 1 Veda, Yajur Veda, and that he selected the verses related to one that are to be recited. So in a yagya there are 4 priests. So there is Hota, Udgata, Advaryu and Brahma. 4 types of priests. And each of these 4 priests are reciting the mantras from each of the 4 Vedas. Rig Veda, Sama Veda, Yajur Veda and Atharva Veda. Earlier, before Vyasdev divided the Vedas into 4, every student was expected to learn all the Vedas. But this was in the previous ages. They had that type of, brain substance and that type of intelligence. Not brain substance also, but that type of advanced consciousness and capacity. They were in the mode of goodness that they could grasp the subject and retain it also. They were not influenced by the modes of passion and ignorance so much. So they could learn the whole Vedas. But Vyasadev saw in Kali Yuga they don't have that capacity. They won't be able to, study everything. So he divided. So he he gave all the mantras that are to be recited by one of the priests as 1 Veda, Rig Veda, another one as Sama Veda, and Atharva Veda, and Yajur Veda. And then whatever stories were remained in that, he put them as Puranas and Itihasas. So Puranas and Itihasas are also coming from the Veda. That's why they are called Panchama Veda. Itihasa means Ramayana and Mahabharata. Puranas, there are 18 Puranas. 6 in goodness, 6 in passion. 6 for the people of goodness, 6 for the people in passion, and 6 Puranas for the people in ignorance. Like this, Vyasadev has given us. And Itihasas, Mahabharata he is given for Sri Vaishya and Dvijabandhus. Sri, Stri, Shudra and Dvijabandhus. So, but these 4 Vedas, they are in the form of mantras, reciting mantras. So mantras also, there it is a science. Now in this we also see Vedangas. In the verse itself we will see that Sandipane Sakrit Proktam Brahmadhityasa Vistaram. Here Vistaram means they studied Brahmaditya. Brahma means the Vedas along with all their branches of knowledge. What are the branches of knowledge of the Vedas? So you have the four Vedas: Rig Veda, Samveda, Yajur Veda, Atharva Veda, four Vedas. And then these Vedas have six branches called Vedangas. What are they? Shiksha, Chanda, Vyakarana, Nirukta, Jyotisha, and Kalpa. These are the six Veda Angas. What is the purpose? Anga means limb. Anga means limb. What is the purpose of the limb? You have a hand. The purpose of the hand is to serve the body, right? Like that, the purpose of the limbs of the Vedas is to assist in understanding the Vedas. For example, Shiksha. Shiksha deals with the phonetics, how to utter the mantras. It's a very big science. We only know a little bit. Like let's take one alphabet A, right? In Hindi or in other languages, we'll see Hindi or any languages coming from the Sanskrit, right? A. You only know two sounds. But actually, 18 sounds are possible from A. Because that A can be said in three levels here at your throat level: upper, middle, and lower. And also that sound again from the nose, it is said in a different way. So you can divide it 18 different sounds from just one letter A. And 18 different sounds means a sound itself has a meaning. A particular sound has a meaning. So 18 different sounds means 18 different meanings are possible just with that one sound. And now one sound means we are talking about phonetics. Now you combine, right? In a word you will have syllables, isn't it? So how many meanings are possible? For that is why in Sanskrit, when there is one verse, you can come up with so many meanings. It depends on how you break the words. So many, unlimited number of meanings you can come up with. It's a wonderful exercise actually. Exercise means just like children play puzzle, just combining words in different ways. Like that you can do as an exercise. But that does not mean that is the Shastra. You have to know what exactly is the intended meaning. When Krishna says a verse, what is he intending? Being a Sanskrit scholar, you can come up with hundreds of meanings for that verse. But what is the meaning that Krishna wants to say? That you can only know through Guru. Only when you learn from Guru who's coming in a disciplic succession, you can understand what is Krishna trying to say in that verse. Simply by your Sanskrit scholarship, you won't be able to understand Krishna consciousness. That's not possible. You won't be able to understand what is the Vedas, what is the message given by the Vedas. So the Vedas themselves are helping in the form of these six limbs. So I said Shiksha. Shiksha means phonetics, how to utter each word. And then you have Chanda. Chanda means the meter, right? So one verse can be recited or sung in various meters. We know in Bhagavad Gita also. Dehinosmin yatha dehe kauvaram yavvanam jara tatha dehantara praptir dhiras tatra na muhyati. So now that is said in a different meter. The same thing can be sung in a different meter.
देहे कुमारं यौवनं जरा तद् देह.
Yeah, they have different meters like that. So that is Chanda. Then Vyakarana means grammar. This is about what I was telling you about the word, how to derive the meaning of each word. Vyakarana, grammar, and how to combine. Nirukta means explanation of the verses that are given. And similarly, you have Jyotisha, which is astrology, and Kalpa. Kalpa means the actual rituals. So all these are angas of Veda that help you in understanding the Vedas and bringing them into application, right? One thing is mantras you learn and then you have to actually apply them. You have to recite them and perform yagyas using those mantras. So these branches of Vedas help you to understand the Vedas properly and how to apply them. So here Lord Krishna went to Sandipani Muni's ashram. He went away from home. They were residing where? In Mathura. And he went to Ujjain. Krishna and Balaram went to Ujjain to Sandipani Muni's ashram to study under him. And they followed all the vratas of brahmacharya very strictly. This is not just brahmacharya, and brahmachari means what? Brahmachari means a student. Brahmachari means a student. You have to render service to the Guru, rise early in the morning, you have to study. The main activity of a brahmachari is be a sold out servant of Guru and study all day long. He has to study, do whatever menial services that are given. And studying also, it is not just that by studying you will learn. You know when you will actually retain what you have learned from Guru? When the Guru is pleased. When you are learning from a Guru, when that Guru is satisfied by your service, by your submission, by your attentiveness, by your eagerness to learn, the yasya prasadat bhagavat prasada, yasya aprasadat nagati kutopi. When the Guru is pleased with the disciple, that is the success of the disciple's life. Whatever he has learned from the Guru, he'll be able to retain that when the Guru is pleased. And Krishna Balaram were such excellent disciples, students, that Guru was completely satisfied. So some things here, Uddhava is just saying, like in one line, how much, so what is Uddhava saying in this verse? Sandipane sakrit proktam. Once, Sandipani Muni spoke something once, only once. What did he speak? Brahma Aditya Savistaram. Brahma means the Vedas. Aditya. This is also very important. Aditya. What is Aditam mean? Means this comes in Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, about Suta Goswami. Right? The sages are saying, we are selecting you as the speaker because Yad Adhitam. You have studied under your gurus. Studying also, Adhitam does not simply mean opening the books and studying ourselves. Adhitam means studying, but studying is actually hearing. That knowledge that we get it by hearing from Guru. And by the mercy of the Guru, then I am able to gain that knowledge. So Adhitam does not simply mean, you take your books and you study and you memorize, and by that study, self-study, right? Self-study cannot give us, we cannot understand the subject matter by self-study. That is very, very superficial. It will not go into the heart. You don't get the conviction by self-study. When you hear from Guru, that means your approach is very important. Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. There has to be two. For knowledge to flow, it has to flow from one to the other. Bhagavad Gita. In fact, all our scriptures you see, Srimad Bhagavatam, it is a conversation between two people. There is a speaker, there is a Guru, and there is a disciple. One person is asking and the other person is answering. This is the way to receive knowledge. Simply by opening the books and keeping a library at home and studying it all by myself, I am going to become learned. It's not going to happen. And even if you are doing that, what is your mood? That you are receiving it from that Acharya, from that Guru who is speaking in that book. So you have to sit in front of that teacher humbly, respectfully, with a surrendered mood, and then pray to the Lord in the heart, pray at the lotus feet of that Guru to please teach me. With that intention, even if you are reading from books. That's why we offer prayers in the beginning, isn't it? We offer prayers to Goddess Saraswati, to Vyasdev, who has given this, right, who is the author, to Srila Sukadev Goswami, To Srila Prabhupada, to all our acharyas, we offer prayers. What does that mean? It means that please give me your mercy. It is only by your mercy that I will understand anything, and what to speak of present whatever I have understood, so that the listener will also get the message that you want to give. Let me become a medium. Let me become an instrument. Let me become your mouthpiece, so that they can get the message that you want to give. So, this is a very wonderful journey of being a student, learning, studying. I don't know, one second. So, Sandipane Sakrit Proktam Brahmaditya Sa Vistaram. So, he studied Krishna Balaram, both of them. They studied all the Vedas and all the branches of Vedas. Sa Vistaram, in all details. So we will see, it is explained in the 10th canto, there are 64 arts. Those 64 arts, Krishna and Balaram mastered them in 64 days. That means during the day, so you have teacher teaches during the day, and then also it's not that they're simply all day long, 8 hours, 9 to 5, they're sitting and studying. It's not like that. They also do services. We see they are sent to the forest to get sticks, right? Maybe they are given other services in the ashram. So many things. But during the day they would hear 64 arts. One art they would hear during the day, and by night they have mastered it. Like this, in 64 days they completed all 64 arts under Sandipani Muni. And of course, in the purport, Srila Prabhupada is saying that Krishna is the, where are the Vedas coming from? The Vedas are Krishna's energy only. He is the absolute truth, right? So the Vedas are Vedaischa sarve rahameva vedyam vedanta krid veda vid eva chaham. Indeed, I am the compiler of the Vedas, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. And now he is going and learning in front of a guru. What is this? You may question, right? Why even he needs 64 days to learn? He doesn't need. So the point here is that yad yad acharati sreshtas tad tad evetaro jana. Sayat pramanam kurute lokastad anuvartate. Whatever a great man does, common men follow. Whatever standards he sets by his example, the whole world pursues. Name partahasti kartavyam trishu lokeshu kinchana nanavaptam nana. What is the verse? Name partahasti kartavyam trishu lokeshu kinchana nanavaptam. Third chapter, Bhagavad Gita, 3rd chapter, I think 3. Name partahasti kartavyam trishu lokeshu kinchana. Anyway, the meaning of that verse is that I have no duty to perform in this world. I don't have any duty. Still I am engaged in doing all my duties. Why? Because I am the natural leader. If I didn't carry out the duties, taking my example, nobody will follow their duties. And if they didn't do their duties, I will not get any reaction. For example, now Krishna is playing the role of a Kshatriya as the son of Vasudeva. So he is carrying the dharma, carrying out the dharma of a Kshatriya. What if Krishna didn't do? If he didn't follow the Kshatriya dharma, then will he get a sinful reaction for that? Krishna doesn't get any sinful reaction. So why he has to do? So I have no duties to perform in all these 3 worlds, my dear Arjun. I don't have, but still I am doing my duty. Why I am doing my duty? Because I am the leader. Everyone looks up to me as my leader. If I don't set the right example, those people who need to follow their dharma will not follow their dharma. They will say, oh, he's our leader, he is not doing, we won't do. But I won't get any reaction for not doing it. They will get a reaction, and in that way I become responsible for their downfall. Like that. So that's why Krishna doesn't need to go to a guru and learn, but still he's going and learning. Why he's doing that? To set example for the whole world, that if you want to study, you must approach a guru. You must render submissive service. You must follow brahmacharya, right? and then only you can get this Vedic knowledge. So to set that example, Krishna is himself going to the Guru, and in 64 days he mastered. Now there's another important step here. After you learn all these subjects, then it's also mandatory for the student, for the disciple, to offer Guru Dakshina to the teacher. It is not that by giving some Guru Dakshina, we also at the time of initiation, we collect, isn't it? And then we bring that as Guru Dakshina. We personally go and collect and we give it to Guru. That's just, it's just, as we just do it in, just for a few minutes at that time. But actually, there's no way that we can repay. This is a debt that a disciple has towards the Guru. What to speak of, a spiritual master who is, giving you initiation into this Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. Any Guru who teaches you anything, you become indebted to that person for giving you that knowledge. And you must offer. It is your debt to offer to that Guru. You have to offer. Now, it does not mean that, and that's why education is never charged. There's no fee as such. You will see, even in olden days, education was not charged, right? They would have all these local schools, government schools also. Education was given free of cost. Now it has become commercial, where they charge you. But that type of education won't even last, right? The thing is, when you learn from the spiritual master, you become indebted to the spiritual master. And when you complete your education, you're supposed to give Guru Dakshina according to your capacity. And also, the way to give Guru Dakshina is not that you give what you please. You should ask the Guru, what do you want as Guru Dakshina? And then the Guru will tell, according, seeing your capacity, what you're able to do, he will ask you. Someone may be able to give money, and other people may do it in the form of some service. If you remember, in Mahabharata, what did Dronacharya ask? You remember? What did Dronacharya ask as Guru Dakshina?
I think he asked
The
Eklavya the finger, thumb.
His finger.
Thumb.
The finger he pokes.
No. Arjuna and the
No.
Pandavas and Kauravas.
That's true. Dronacharya, he asked for the finger because he cannot.
That is from Ekalavya. That's different. But
He asked to go and fight with Drupad and make him arrest him so
Correct.
that he can take revenge. Hare Krishna.
yes, Mataji. So,
Oh,
Pandavas and Kauravas were always, the Kauravas, they always saw the Pandavas as their, rivals, yes. So, Dronacharya, how he even became a teacher of the Pandavas and Kauravas, he was a Brahmana, is supposed to live a very simple life. So he was living such a simple life that he didn't even have milk to feed his young son, small boy. So it is said that, because his other playmates would insult him, his mother would mix some flour, atta, in water and apply it on his mouth to look like he just drank milk and came. So Dronacharya was feeling so bad for his son. So he went to his friend Drupad Maharaj to ask him, to remind him of his friendship, because when they were young, when they were classmates in Dronacharya's younger days, they were friends, and they were such good friends. Drupad Maharaj said, he promised him, whatever is mine is also yours, right? So you are the owner of half of my kingdom. We are such good friends, like that. So whatever I have, I will share with you equally, in that sense. So Dronacharya went to meet with Drupad Maharaj, but Drupad Maharaj, now he became a king. Back then he was a prince, now he became a king. And Dronacharya was not, they were not classmates anymore. Dronacharya was a poor Brahmana, Drupad Maharaj was a king. So he insulted Dronacharya when he came. He said, when he said, I'm your friend, he didn't recognize him as a friend. He just saw him as a Brahmana who has come. So don't remind me of friendship. How can a king and a poor Brahmana be friends? Friendship has to be between equals. Like that, he insulted Dronacharya. And he said, if you have come to beg from me something in charity, ask me for a cow, I'll give you. But don't tell me that we are friends. So then Dronacharya felt very insulted. He went back and now he trained the Pandavas and Kauravas. He had this in mind. He had to avenge that insult, right? He had to take revenge on Drupad Maharaj, or at least teach him a lesson, right? Not so much as taking revenge, but teach Drupad Maharaj a lesson. So after he completed the education, he said, as Guru Dakshina, they would have wanted to give him so much wealth and so on. He said, no, I will choose what Guru Dakshina I want. And what is the Guru Dakshina he wanted? He said, I want you to go and take Drupad, fight with him and bring him as captive to me. So Duryodhana was in very, he was rash, right? Without thinking, he just went and attacked from the city, right? He went from the front. And Drupad Maharaj, he was a very powerful king. So he just came and he completely defeated them like anything, laughing at them. So they're utterly defeated. Now, Dronacharya said, okay, now you Pandavas go. So they went this time and Arjun actually took him captive. I won't go into the details, very interesting, but Arjun brings. And they didn't take an army also. Duryodhan went with a big army. Yeah, they didn't even take Yudhishthir Maharaj, just Bhimsen. Right. And the other disadvantage was because the Kauravas had attacked before, Drupad Maharaj he was now alert. In spite of that, not taking any army with them, just the four of them, Bhimsen, Arjun, Nakul, Sahadev, they went, they fought, they took him captive and they brought. How pleased Dronacharya must be with Arjun for fulfilling his, whatever he asked, he was able to offer that as Guru Dakshina to his Guru. So anyway, when he was brought captive, then Dronacharya said, you didn't keep your friendship, but I will keep. Now you became my slave, right? I have arrested you, so all your kingdom is mine. But I will keep my promise. I will give half of the kingdom to you. You keep half, I will keep half. Like that. But anyway, so the idea of Guru Dakshina, the Guru will decide what Guru Dakshina he wants. So in this case, Sandipani Muni, Krishna went to Sandipani Muni and said, after they completed their education, they wanted to offer Guru Dakshina. So Sandipani Muni said, okay, I will consult with your Guru Mata, my wife, and then I will tell you. Because this is not an ordinary student. Sandipani Muni could also see, right? So when someone is so capable, you cannot just ask, like Srila Prabhupada says, right? You go in front of the king and you cannot say, give me a pinch of ashes. You cannot ask. When you go to the king, he can give so much. Tell him, give me half the kingdom. Like that, Sandipani Muni is saying, this is the Supreme Lord, let me ask him something, which he can give. So he asked his wife, what should we ask him? So his wife said, our son, a small boy, he was lost. He was at Prabhasa Kshetra. He drowned in the ocean. He died. So ask him to bring the dead son back. How does Srila Prabhupada begin this purport? Srila Prabhupada is saying, no one but the Supreme Lord can become well versed in all the branches of Vedic wisdom simply by hearing once from his teacher. Nobody can become well versed in all branches of the Vedas simply by hearing once. Actually, in this context, I even remembered Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right? When Keshav Kashmiri came to challenge the scholars of Navadvip. Digvijay Pandit, after winning over all other kingdoms, he finally came to Navadvip and he was going to challenge. But this was not an official debate yet, because Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he's a very learned person, and also he was blessed by Goddess Saraswati. He was not, an ordinary person. The only problem was he had become so proud because of his learning and because of the blessings that he got from Goddess Saraswati. But he had so much, prestige, honor. So if he got defeated, he would have died. He would have died being unable to face that defeat. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to protect him also. But at the same time, remove that pride. So it was not an official debate that would be organized. Mahaprabhu was sitting on the banks of Ganges and Keshav Kashmiri happened to come there at that time. Mahaprabhu was with his students. At that time when Keshav Kashmiri came, just like casual talk, he said, can you say something about the in glory of goddess Ganga? And immediately Keshav Kashmiri, like the wind, he started reciting 100 verses composed on the spot. Right? On the spot, he just composed and he was reciting them at the speed of the wind. 100 verses in Sanskrit. Perfect. Right? In glorification of goddess Ganga. And all the students that were sitting there, they had their mouths, their jaws dropped. Like, how can any human being even do this? They had never seen such learning. And Mahaprabhu immediately pointed out, in so and so verse, in that line, in that word that you used, this is not, like he says, Bhavani Bharta, right? That Bhavani Bharta means the husband of Bhavani. Bhava means Shiva, Bhavani means wife of Shiva. So Bhavani Bharta means the husband of the wife of Shiva. So that means the wife of Shiva had another husband or what? So that becomes a fault. So Mahaprabhu pointed that out. And then Keshav Kashmiri was, how did you even, people have a difficulty even understanding what I said. And you remembered, you memorized, you're even pointing out that particular verse. How is it possible? He actually went blank. When Mahaprabhu questioned him, his mind went blank. And when Mahaprabhu said, please try to explain, he made some feeble attempts, but in his attempts to answer, he was becoming completely bewildered. He forgot who he was, what his name was, where he was. He was completely blank. So there, in the beginning, when he asked, he was completely stunned, surprised. He said, how do you remember? And Mahaprabhu said, the way you are able to recite, on the spot you are able to recite, that is because of the blessing of the Supreme Lord. In the same way, by the Lord's blessing, I am a Shruti Chara. What is that word? Shruti. What is Shruti Dhara? Sorry, Shruti Dhara. Shruti Dhara means whatever you hear, you hold it, you retain it. Shruti Dhara. That means once you hear something, you never forget in your life. So I am like that. So when I hear anything, I never forget my whole life, Mahaprabhu said. So here Srila Prabhupada is saying, who except Lord Krishna can, by hearing once, he will remember it, no one but the Supreme Lord can become well versed in all branches of Vedic wisdom simply by hearing once from his teacher. That is one qualification. And the next thing is, no one can bring a dead body back to life after the soul has already gone to the region of Yamaraj. This also we see in Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastime. You remember which one? When Krishna brings back, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu brings back a dead person. He brings a dead person back to life.
Srivas Prabhu's son.
Yes, very good, very good. Srivas Thakur's son. So they were performing this kirtan in the home of Srivas Thakur in the night, and Mahaprabhu is dancing, and all of a sudden Srivas Thakur heard some weeping from inside.
Yeah.
So he went into the inner quarters and he found out that his son was
So,
his young son. He was dead. And all the ladies were crying. So Srivas Thakur said, don't cry because this will disturb Mahaprabhu's kirtan. If you want to cry, you can cry later on. If because of your crying, Mahaprabhu's kirtan is disturbed, if he comes out of his ecstasy, I swear I'm going to drown myself in the Ganges and I will give up my life. So out of fear of Srivas Thakur, they were silent. So there was no weeping heard from inside. Mahaprabhu was dancing. But what will you do to the sadness they were feeling in their heart? They were not weeping loudly, but they were very sad. So Mahaprabhu couldn't dance any longer. And he said, what's wrong? Why am I not feeling happiness when I'm dancing? Something went wrong. 7 hours had passed since the son had died. And then slowly the news also spread amongst the devotees what happened. But nobody was saying anything. Then when Mahaprabhu asked, the devotees revealed to him that Srivas Thakur's son died. And then Mahaprabhu was, Srivas, why nobody told me? Then they said Srivas Thakur forbade us because he didn't want your dance to be disturbed, your happiness to be disturbed. So Mahaprabhu said, Srivas, how will I ever be able to live without you? Thinking about the time when he would take sannyas and he would go away. How can I live in your separation like that? At that time, Mahaprabhu went to the inner quarters and he told the boy, why did you leave your father? Wake up. So the boy got up and he spoke Bhagavad Gita, right? Who is father? Who is mother? I have had so many fathers and so many mothers. Now, in this life, I am fortunate that I was able to see you, I was able to hear. So now, according to your desire, I will continue wherever you want me to go. So after speaking this philosophy, once again, he went back to sleep. That means he left the body. That means Mahaprabhu brought a person who was dead, he brought him back. Who can do this? So here also Krishna, Sandipani Muni's wife said, ask him to bring our son back, because Krishna can do that, right? The Supreme Lord can do it. You cannot ask anyone else to do this, but he is capable, he can do it. So Krishna Balaram, they said, okay. They went to the shore of the ocean, and immediately the ocean god came, and they said, he ordered the ocean god, bring the child of my teacher, right? He drowned here, so in your waters bring him back. So the ocean god said, actually I didn't take that boy. There's a demon called Panchajana. He has taken that boy. So Krishna and Balaram went inside the ocean, dove inside the ocean. At the bed of the ocean, he was in the form of a conch. This Panchajana demon was a conch demon in the form of a conch. So Krishna killed that demon and looked inside the stomach. There was no boy. So of course it's not that the boy will still be there. He was killed he died when he was a small boy, but still it was not there. So then Krishna Balaram went to Yamaraj's abode to find out what happened. He's not there here. And Krishna took that shell, conch. That's his Panchajanyam Hrishikesho Devadattam Dhananjaya. That Panchajanya conch is still Krishna's conch. So he blew that conch when he went to Yamaraj's abode, and hearing that, Yamaraj came out. He was very pleased, offered obeisances to the Lord, welcomed him. And there Krishna said that according to his karma, this boy has left his body, I understand, but now I am ordering you, I want that boy back because I want to give him to my Guru as Guru Dakshina. So then Yamaraj found out where is that boy, and he saw he's actually in my custody only. So he brought that boy and gave to Krishna. Krishna took that boy and came back and offered to his teacher. The teacher was so pleased with Krishna, right? This is our success. If the spiritual master is pleased by our endeavors, by our services, he gives us some task, some project. If we are able to carry it out to the best of our capacity, and if the spiritual master is pleased by our endeavor, that is the success of our life, right? We don't need anything else. That is the success of our life. So, of course, Sandipani Muni knew that Krishna is the Supreme Lord, and he's saying that now you ask me for something, right? I want to give you. This is also a sign of love and affection. It's just like that, the Vatsalya Bhava that, mothers, Yashoda Mai, Devaki Mai would have for Krishna. Especially Devaki and Vasudeva. They knew that Krishna is the Supreme Lord, but still, they have that affection also, that protective feeling. Kamsa may not kill our child, like that, right? He's the Supreme Lord, why he needs any protection? But that is just their love. Like that Sandipani Muni, he knew somebody who brought his dead child back, what will he need from me? What can I give him? Isn't it? But still he said that I want to give you something. What would you like? And they were so humble. They said, you can give us whatever pleases you, Guru Maharaj. So Sandipani Muni said, whatever you have learned from me, you will never forget. It will eternally stay. And your fame will remain in all times. Like that, Sandipani Muni blessed them, and after that they go back to their kingdom, Mathura. So we will also end here. It's almost 9 o'clock. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. So if there's any questions, comments, one or two.
Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you all so much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Namita Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai.
Jai.
Ancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa
Sindhubhyo cha patitanam pavanebhyo
sindhubhyo
Vaishnavebhyo namo namah.
Ananta Koti Vaishnava Bhakti Vrinda ki jai. Srila Prabhupada.
Thank you, Mataji.